like basically relearn my entire existence. Like I had no guidance in it, but I got a bunch of books and I was doing a lot of research online, and I just kind of like gradually went into it. I know some people who have told me that they've gone like vegan overnight or anything, and that for sure was not it for me.
This is From the Ground Up, where we talk to entrepreneurs in all different industries and give you the down and dirty about what makes them successful. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button and check back every Monday as we drop new episodes.
What is up, everybody? We are here today with Miss Amber Richards.
Yay.
Thank you for coming down in the snow, passing all of the crashes and making it here. We appreciate you big time. You made it. Mom of twin boys. Didn't know if they were going to have school today. Did not know, but you fucking made it.
Yes.
So you made it happen. So I want to introduce everybody to Amber. So she is an inspiring Denver-based vegan bikini competitor, model, twin mom. From making her WBFF Pro debut to coaching others, she cares about how other plant-based lifestyle fuels her success. You're a mother. Sorry, I just kind of read that because you have a lot going on here. But you help pose people too. Like, what do you do? You do it all.
I wear many hats.
You do. So I found you on Instagram. You literally popped up in my For You because I'm trying to be more healthy.
Oh, God.
But you popped up and I just see like these abs everywhere. And then I click on you and you're in Denver and I'm like, okay, she's a baddie. I got to get to know you. So I DM'd you and you were so sweet. Like you wrote me back right away.
Oh, yeah. I saw your picture and I was like, oh my God, she's so beautiful.
That's how Shay does it. She slides right in those DMs.
I do slide into those DMs.
It works every time. I'm like, get her in the DMs. Get her.
But I found you. I started talking to you. I am going to try to eat better in 2025. We'll see. But I need to know, what is your story? How did you start getting into this? What made you want to be healthy?
Vegans are hard. Vegans are hard lifestyle.
No cheese.
Yeah, especially in the restaurant, like going out to eat. But I'll let you continue.
Yeah, no, it's getting better though with that. So I was actually a junior in high school when I decided to go plant-based. I didn't really know like what vegan was or honestly what health was because I was a junior in high school.
Yeah.
But I was having a lot of like stomach issues, like IBS, like all the things that are like not pretty and that you don't hear about on Instagram and stuff.
Yep.
So I was so lost. Like I didn't know what to do. My parents were taking me to the emergency room all the time, and they were doing all these tests on me. They couldn't figure out what was wrong. They did all these allergy tests, and I wasn't allergic to anything, and so they just couldn't figure out what was going on with me. And then I went to a holistic doctor just because I was like in hopes of something. I was like, somebody give me some answers here so I can feel better. And she didn't tell me to like go vegan or anything, but she did tell me to try this list of foods, and it was just all like whole plant-based options. And so me as a junior in high school, I've never cooked in my life or anything. My mom like looked at the sheet and she's like, you're going to have to do that on your own because I don't even know either.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, this is like where I'm going to start. And I did it within 2 weeks. I started feeling so much better. Like my symptoms subsided, like not fully, but I was like, okay, this is actually working. And then as I started getting like more into it, that's when like vegan kind of fell into my lap. And I was like, this is exactly what I'm eating. But then it's also the lifestyle part of it as well, like all the products. And I did a lot of research and all of this stuff. Granted, I am from Nebraska, so it's like vegan is like speaking
Right, because you're from farm town.
Right. Yeah. No, like you all eat meat. That's what you do. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And cheese and
totally all of that thing. So I had to like basically relearn my entire existence. Like I had no guidance in it, but I got a bunch of books and I was doing a lot of research online, and I just kind of like gradually went into it. I know some people who have told me that they've gone like vegan overnight or anything, and that for sure was not it for me. I was in high school still, so I just was kind of like trying to see what worked, and then as the years gone on, I just became more I would say vegan, and then I totally switched over.
That's amazing, because for you at a young age, like a junior in high school, to have that mindset, like this is what I'm doing, like, you know, you're in that environment where you're influenced a lot and everyone's doing all the things, but you're like, I'm taking on this healthy lifestyle. But not only so, it's not the food, but it's also the products that you use is all vegan.
Absolutely, yes.
Like, like, can you explain?
Yeah. Like skincare,
what products?
And lotion,
lotions, shampoo and conditioner, makeup. The false eyelashes, like literally everything that I like, toothpaste.
Yeah. Dude, I have some like characteristics of that.
My mind is blown. Yeah, you do like.
I do.
How can eyelashes be non?
Because a lot of them are made with mink fur, and mink they kind of look like a ferret almost. Kind of. And so they basically take the hairs off of them and make beauty products with them.
Crazy.
Yeah.
But like I'll be in
idea.
like my kitchen like concocting like almond oil and like just like skincare products. How many times have I done that?
Yeah, she's a weird one.
Yeah.
But it's fun though.
But
It's
you
fun.
Honestly, I need to learn from you with that, because people will ask me like what my skincare is, and I'm like, I don't have one.
No, I
just
don't
use
either.
African black soap, and I don't
That's
know if
amazing
that's good
stuff.
or bad, but it just works for
That's
me.
what you use on your face.
That's it. I don't do facials.
Nope.
I don't.
You know what I put on my face
But you're
last night?
glowing.
You know what I put on my face last night before I went to bed? Just olive oil. Just straight olive oil.
Okay.
I'm like, fuck
Is
it.
olive oil vegan?
It has to be.
It is. Yeah, it is.
It's
it?
olive. It's
Yeah.
plant.
You see me, I'm like, I don't know. I go and I buy lean cuisines, and that is that's how I cook. So
They
I'm
do
like the
make
worst.
like vegan ones though, like kind of like that. Forks over knives is a really good one. They seem to be like no additives. It's just whole plant-based foods, and you can read the ingredients and you know exactly what they are. They're not like those fillers in there. You
Right,
know?
Yeah.
right.
So,
Do you cook for your kids?
I do.
Vegan.
yes.
Are they vegan too?
I would say they're more vegetarian.
Okay.
I'm not like a dictator when it comes to that, because they're 4
Yeah,
and a
they're
half.
kids.
You know, like
Yeah.
they don't like when we go to a coffee shop, for example. They see a muffin and they just see a muffin. They don't know if it's vegan, gluten free, like all of that stuff.
Right.
I do try to teach them that stuff, and if you ask them like, what does vegan mean? They say don't eat animals and stuff, but they're still too young to kind of like put 2 and 2 together, you know? So
Right.
The one thing that they are really good about is eggs, though. They say chicken eggs or tofu eggs.
Oh, really?
So, yeah. And they love tofu eggs.
I love tofu, which is a weird thing. Like whenever I go to Noodles and Company, instead of getting chicken on it, I'll get the tofu because it's so good for some reason.
I'll do that at Chipotle too. But as I feel like that's hard as a parent, because I have a 4-year-old as well, right? So I know the same boat you're in, and what they want to eat, they want to eat. And I do try healthy as much as I can, but I'll notice a difference. Like if he eats a bag of Doritos, like an hour later he's fucking kooky.
Crazy,
Dude,
yes,
like nuts. And
absolutely.
I'm just like, okay, I try to like limit the sugar. I really try hard to feed
Do
him
you?
well.
Because
but
when I was in your car, you had a huge thing of gummy worms.
that's what I'm saying. I pick and choose my battles.
Pick and choose. Yeah, it's about that.
But for the most part, he does eat pretty healthy.
No,
like
you
I
do
will
cook.
cook for him a lot, but
Yeah.
because I mean, so they're just used to this, right? They're used to the vegan.
They like grew up knowing all
Yeah.
of that. So
What happens when they go to school? Like, so my kid, like, he has snacks in school and lunch at school. Do you have to tell them, like,
Yeah,
or just
so
pack
I
them their
actually
own
had to
thing?
sign like a paperwork because I explained to them like they are vegan at home. I do not want them eating meat and stuff. So the school provides like a menu for breakfast and lunch. And actually some of the stuff that they have is already vegan, or they can just not put the chicken on it or something like that. So sometimes I'll let them do that so they can feel involved. Like I want them to feel like they can do what other kids are doing. Yeah. And the teacher did tell me that like sometimes they will ask for it, but they were so nice and told me about it before they gave it to them.
Right.
So yeah, I usually take their lunches, and I find it like a little meal prep, honestly.
Yes.
I'm like, you're bulking. It's in there.
Extra protein for you.
Oh my gosh, that is freaking hilarious.
I love that because I feel like society now, we're like shifting. I feel like everyone's becoming way more aware of how shitty our food is in America.
So
and
true.
people are shifting to try to get to that healthy lifestyle. But
100%.
you know, I think I don't know. Like, I just think that there's going to be some changes that happen with the FDA, hopefully in the next few years.
Yes.
But like, our food is horrible here.
Yeah, it
so
is.
I think you're awesome for doing that.
Thank you.
And what
I
made you
tried.
want to then, you're like, okay, so you felt better, right? Like all your symptoms went away and then you really started embracing the vegan lifestyle. What made you decide like, hey, okay, I'm going to start a business around this?
Yeah, so actually she's one of my best friends. She's actually a twin too. So I knew her, I knew the twins. They're called the Ohm twins on Instagram. Shout out to them.
The Owen?
The Ohm twins.
The Ohm twins, okay.
Yes. And I actually knew them prior to like working with them and stuff. They live in Mexico, but they reached out to me and they were like, hey, like, I think you could be a coach. And I was like, do you really think so? And so they were like, yeah, like join our team. And so they've kind of like mentored me with like the whole coaching because they had been doing it for a while, and also doing the fitness stuff and all of that stuff for a while. And they were already doing it online. So I give them all the props. They taught me literally everything that I know. I mean, when it comes to like the business side of things. So,
Right.
So
yeah.
your business is based off of lifestyle, right? Health,
Yes.
fitness.
A lot of my clients are different. So sometimes I will just have nutrition clients. Sometimes I'll just have fitness clients, or sometimes I'll do a mixture of both. A lot of my clients actually are vegan or already like switched over and made that commitment, but some people are just straight up with me and they're like, I am never going to be vegan, but I just want to learn how to be more plant-based.
Yeah.
So I don't want to do it wrong, so can you teach me how to do it in the correct way?
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. And then sometimes you have just people reach out to you just for fitness as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
So you do meal planning and you do fitness plans.
Yes.
So and then do you make it personalized to every single person, or do you kind of have
It's very tailored. It's specific, like one-on-one. So there's like a thorough questionnaire that they have to go through, and it depends on like the client or what they want. Then I kind of can go in and be like, okay, this is what this client needs. A lot of people do have allergy restrictions and stuff like that, so we have to work around some of those obstacles as well. So it can get a little tricky sometimes, but there's always ways to navigate it.
What
Go
are some
ahead.
of your clients' biggest struggles from transitioning into vegan?
I'm sorry, say that again.
What are some struggles that your clients have transitioning into that vegan? Like, you know what I mean? Because I eat a lot of meat and I eat a lot of grains, but I feel like if I transition to vegan, like, I think I'd struggle with it a little bit. I think I would.
I think the biggest thing, it can be like so many things all at once, because when we're tracking macros, they may not know how to track the macros, or sometimes when they're like trying to switch, they can't find the foods that they like because there's so many different options, you know. So some people might not like tofu, but it could be my favorite thing in the world, you know.
Right.
But you just kind of have to figure out what works for you, and it's all about trial and error. Like I feel like that's why it took me so long to fully like commit to the lifestyle as well, because I needed to find what was going to work for me and be like, okay, this is sustainable. Like I can do this.
Right,
you know?
right. And you just got to stick with it, just like anything, like quitting vaping,
Yeah.
quitting drinking. Like it's
Yeah.
going to be hard, but if you're committed to it, you could do it.
Is it
Absolutely.
is it more expensive to lead a plant-based lifestyle? You know, like groceries are very expensive right now.
Yeah.
Super expensive.
Honestly, anything is expensive right
Yeah.
now, but
or is it kind of
really.
balanced? Yeah.
It's kind of balanced. I have actually like looked over in the meat section, and it's like, don't get me wrong, because I have not consumed that in a long time. I'm pretty sure it's by like ounces and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So,
Super expensive.
So
Yeah.
with like beans and stuff like that, you can usually get it in the bulk section, which it's by pounds, and you can get like a big 5-pound bag of beans and literally have it for so long.
Yep.
So not that you need to consume a ton of beans to be able to make it work, but there's different ways, like in bulk ways that you can get your products through vegan, and then you don't have to constantly be going to the store.
That's smart.
Right.
So yeah,
That makes
That's
sense.
really smart.
Yeah.
So question for you, because you said you were having all these problems. I personally, well, I don't eat healthy. Let's just be honest here. I do not. Like, it's a problem. I'm a Grubhubber. That's why, like, this year I'm like, okay, I'm going to do better. But I Grubhub my life away. Or if I do go to the grocery store, because it's just me. I don't have anybody to cook for.
Yeah.
I'll buy, like, frozen prepared meals and just do it. Because, like, why cook for myself and then clean it up? I know I need to change that mindset. But with that being said, I do not have a great stomach at all. Like, it's a problem.
Like digestion wise, or just everything?
Everything. It's unwell. So when you said at the beginning that you got allergy tested, that's what I thought that maybe I should do. But the allergy testing didn't show anything to you, or that you were allergic to any of these foods?
I came out like completely fine. So they said that I could be sensitive to things, but that doesn't make me allergic to it.
'Kay.
So, yeah.
So then your doctor just said try this plant-based, and it changed everything.
Yes.
That's so cool. Okay.
It was
be healthy.
life-changing. It was life-changing.
I think it's going to be hard for you to give up cheese more than anything.
Well, I'm not saying I'm going to go vegan, but I'm saying, like,
But I wonder if you made some changes, you'd probably see some,
There is vegan cheese.
is it good?
There's so many different kinds nowadays. Like when I was in high school, there was none of that.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
things
have evolved
a lot. So
Hey, fair
yeah.
enough, because I will, like, anything. I'll put extra cheese on pizza.
Yeah, me
Like,
too.
it's-
I put
it's-
extra vegan cheese on pizza too. That's the best part of pizza.
Okay.
Here would be the hard part too, though. Like, okay, so going out to restaurants, right? Like sauces. Like, how do you know if a sauce is vegan or not? Or do you just have to go to restaurants that say that they're vegan?
I usually do my research beforehand because I'm a
smart.
little bit OCD with that stuff. But if it is going to be like a last minute thing, I always am very communicative with the waitress or even the cooks. If they don't know, usually the cook knows if
Yeah.
it has dairy or
Yeah.
eggs or any kind of that stuff. in it.
Yeah.
That's smart.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And most restaurants now do ask you, do you have any
Do you have any
dietary? Like
allergy-
that didn't
dietary
used to be a thing,
restrictions,
but now it's a
allergies?
now
Yeah,
it's a
you feel like
question
you would
that
have
they
to
ask.
know. If something does happen to be non-vegan, does your body tell you right away, or would you
Absolutely. I feel like
Really?
it goes like kerplunk in my stomach.
not know? Really?
Yeah.
Okay, no.
There's no perfect world, and so there's been things where
Yeah.
I will feel that, and then I look at it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I just consumed that.
Yeah.
So,
Then you beat yourself up, or you're just like, it is what it is.
no,
kind of
it is
thing.
what it
It's
is.
not like you did it on
Yeah,
purpose.
I know.
Yeah, it's not like I did it on purpose, and it's like, okay, now I know that brand is, it's marketing sometimes will fool you, so you really have to read the labels, But
Yeah.
some things say plant-based on them, but they're not vegan. Because they still have.
How is that
eggs.
possible? Like, why is that
I
legal?
feel like that should be illegal,
Yeah.
but it is marketing. So sometimes I'll be like, oh, great, this is plant-based or whatever, plant protein, all these things.
Yeah.
And then there's milk in it still. And
Oh.
I'm like, why?
Yeah,
why?
you can't do
I feel like that should be illegal too. Like, that's misleading.
It is.
You know?
It is very misleading.
Because most
sometimes.
people don't have or take the time to read the labels or know what they're reading in general.
Exactly,
You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
you see all these ingredients, you're like, I don't even know what that is.
But that's how they don't get sued, though, because on the nutrition label it will say it. So, but it's like in small, tiny print. So
At
that's
the
how they're
very
not getting
bottom.
sued. Yeah.
because it's still on there.
Yeah.
So how did you take this vegan lifestyle and starting your coaching to? Is it bodybuilding? Or is it?
In a sense, yeah. I would call it bodybuilding or fitness more.
Okay.
Because it's not like the regular there's so many other federations, but the specific one that I compete in, they don't want to see actually in some of the categories like super hardcore striations.
Okay.
And so I actually have to tone it down a lot with my abs. I just naturally, when I get really lean, they just are there. And it's because I do a lot
they are. That's how I found you. I was like, okay, abs. Like, my Lord.
It's kind of crazy. I don't really train them or anything. I just do a lot of compound movements. But if I were to train them, they would be absolutely insane. Even more than they already are. And they're already very prominent.
Yes, they are. Oh, my gosh. Okay, so yes, they are. And you look amazing now. I want to talk about the fact that you had twins.
Yeah,
so
me too. I really want to get into that.
So when you found out, because obviously, look good, feel good. We all want to feel good inside our own skin, inside and out. So you have an amazing body, and then you're like, hey, you're having twins.
Oh my gosh.
Double the fun.
The scariest thing.
Yeah, what went through your head with that?
Well, I looked at their father and I was like, what did you do to me?
Yeah.
What? Was it on his side or your side?
None of our sides. Like, who would have
crazy.
thought
Just a
literally
random-
that would happen?
Yeah.
Not me. It's crazy how many people tell me to this day, like, oh my gosh, that's my dream. And I
my
just
God.
am like, I look at them, I'm like, that was never me. Like, I never in my
No.
life thought I would have twins.
Right.
Well,
What are the odds?
one takes a toll on your body. Like, takes a toll on your body. But two in there?
Yeah.
Are they fraternal twins?
They're fraternal
Okay,
twins, yes.
okay.
They look a lot alike, though.
I love that.
I don't know if you've seen pictures of them,
I have.
but people cannot tell them apart sometimes. But when I did give birth to the placenta, because fraternal twins have two separate sacs.
Right.
I gave birth to one placenta. It was just two placentas connected together.
Oh,
interesting.
So,
Okay.
I don't know. They
that
could
safe?
possibly
Obviously,
be.
'cause the kids are
Identical.
good.
Yeah, they could be identical. I've thought about getting a test done, but I can tell them apart, so I feel like that would just
Yeah.
be a thing
Yeah.
for me.
So but
after-
then you're just like, I'm gonna. Well, here we go.
It's all you
Like,
can do.
I had no choice.
Yeah.
I was like, there were so many things that popped into my head when I was sitting there. So I'll kind of tell you the story of like how I found out I was having twins. So
Okay.
I found out I was pregnant, and when you are pregnant, I'm sure you know, you have to schedule your ultrasounds.
Yep.
And so they had me like booked out a week, and I was waiting, but I was so sick, like morning sickness, but times two. All my symptoms were doubled, and I was so sick that I was actually losing weight, and I just could not hold anything down. I thought I was having like kidney failure or something going wrong
gosh.
with me.
Yeah.
I was gonna die, and so I got rushed to the emergency room, and they were like, okay, they rushed me in right away, and they were like, we need to make sure the baby is okay since you're pregnant. It's like an extreme emergency. And so they got me on a stretcher and all of these things. And all these doctors came in, and they just started giving me an ultrasound. And I was like sitting there, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is my first one.
Oh, so you're like 8 weeks at this point, or like right around
I was
there.
like 7-8 weeks, yeah.
Okay.
And they started giving me the one on my tummy, and I was really nervous, and the doctor could tell. She's like, is this your first ultrasound?
Yeah.
And I'm like, yes. And so she was trying to
poor
calm
thing.
me down and everything. Their father was with me. He was the one that took me, and he was kind of trying to lighten the mood too, because I was so scared. I thought I was gonna die.
Yeah.
And so he looked at me, and he was like, oh, like, how funny would it be if we had twins?
Oh my God.
And the doctor kind of like looked at me and like took the screen, and she's like, actually, that's not a joke. And there was 2 in there, and I was like,
This can't be
what?
right.
Oh my god.
She's
That
like,
is
that
a
makes
wild
sense
story.
to why you're feeling like this. Like, all calm about it. I'm like, what?
That's wild. Because
Oh
usually
my
the first
gosh.
ultrasound, you're like so calm and happy, and yours was like very stressful
Yeah,
and just like,
it was
oh
so
shit,
stressful.
oh shit.
rushed in on a stretcher from an ambulance. It's like, what the hell? Oh
No, you
my
got
God.
that makes sense. Some women have horrible sickness. Was there anything that you can do to combat that, the morning sickness, or was it just something you had to write out?
I just had to write it
Yeah,
out, and I
that's
do
hard.
not wish it on anybody. I had it all 9 months up until I gave birth. Like, I was literally...
You didn't subside at all?
Not once.
That's terrible.
So you were sick for how long did you carry? But the whole 9 months, maybe?
All 9 months. Yeah, all 9 months. I carried all 9 months. I actually was, like, outside of my house pulling weeds, and people on the sidewalk, they were like, you look really pregnant. And I'm like, I give birth tomorrow.
Yeah, I give birth tomorrow.
Oh my gosh. So how did you maintain your healthy lifestyle throughout? Like, did you still go to the gym? Because I saw on your Instagram one of your pinned photos. Sorry, I'm a creep. One of your pinned photos is one of your pregnancy photos. And you look amazing.
Oh my gosh,
like,
thank you
it's just
so much.
all belly.
Yeah, I mean, 2 babies in there. My pregnancy was so out of the norm because it was 2020 and all of the gyms closed down and every restaurant was closed and everything. So I did not work out, as I always in my whole life thought I was going to be that pregnant mom up in the gym doing barbell squats, all these things, but I did not have that opportunity.
Yeah.
So, and I didn't get to have a baby shower. I didn't get to have a gender reveal, none of that stuff. So now I get to see like my friends and my family doing it, and I'm like living through them. I'm like, wow, this is what it's like to be normal.
And you had Jaden during COVID too.
No,
Well,
it was
it's like
right before.
when it hit.
Right
before.
because
She had in January 2020.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
So
it was right before.
it happened in like March or somewhere
Yeah,
around
it was like
then.
March.
Yeah.
Was when everything
Yeah, and I was
hit.
really pregnant at that time. And so at one point in time, my doctors told me not to even go outside because they didn't know if COVID could get on my shoes or anything. So I was stuck in quarantine.
Yeah.
They didn't know if it could hurt the babies and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
So it was really scary.
Yeah.
And I didn't get to have anybody come into like any of my doctor's appointments and stuff. So I had to go through that whole thing alone.
That's why I know, because I had friends who did that too, but I was like, I'm so grateful that I was able to do it right before COVID, right? Like all my family was there, like with me while I was giving birth. Like
That's amazing.
some people didn't get that, and that's like a really like
But you were
big
still
moment.
postpartum, and that's a really big thing too,
Yeah.
because I can only imagine how that felt.
And she didn't take any time off work.
I didn't take one day maternity
gosh.
leave. I
Not
know.
one day.
But I just rolled
She's
through
a
it.
nut.
I was lucky though. I had a very, very great pregnancy. I was never sick once. Everything was easy. Gave birth really
amazing.
easy. Like didn't have postpartum. But I know after you give birth to babies, right? It takes such a toll on your body. Your hormones are all out of whack.
Yeah.
It took me. I honestly, my body never went back to the way it was. Like
It never will.
It never will.
honestly.
But-
it doesn't. Not even for me.
Yeah.
Whoa.
There's some things that are changed about my body, and they're like private things, but I'm like, yeah, this
Right.
is just how I am now. It's like a new identity.
Yeah, but looking back, I wish I would have gotten more into the hormone piece of it, right? Because I did try to work out so hard. I was doing F45 so hard. My body was not getting any better. And it was just like, I feel like my hormones were,
You were
not
dedicated. You were going often.
all the
to gym,
time.
yeah.
But my hormone levels were off, and I didn't understand that at the time, like the toll that it could take on you. But
Yeah.
I wish I had that knowledge, or just, So what did you do to get your body back to what it is now?
And then get a pro card.
So I would like to say I probably am a little bit of a freak, and I don't actually suggest this if you're breastfeeding, but I got shredded like 5 months postpartum. I was so determined, and I think that's part of my OCD part of myself. I was like, okay, these babies are out of me. I am going to heal my diastasis recti. I am going to go to the gym. I was doing home workouts too. I was working out with the babies in my arms. Like I have videos of that. Working out with the car seats, all of the things.
Oh my gosh. And now, were you running your business at this time too? Like, when did you really?
I was not. No, I was just mainly focused on the babies. I was so tired. There were some days when I literally didn't sleep for like 2 days straight, but somehow I was still finding the energy. Thanks to coffee, probably, but I was still finding the energy to like work out and stuff, and I was counting my macros. I was in a deficit. So for that reason, and why I say don't highly suggest it if you're breastfeeding, is because I dried up my milk really fast. You have to eat enough calories and sustain that to be able to do that. For me, I breastfed for 4 months, and then I dried
good though.
up.
That's
so.
a good good amount of time.
I didn't make
say.
it past 3.
Yeah.
I just hated it.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot.
It is a lot of work, and also to keep up with the milk supply,
times
eating
2.
stuff.
Yeah. Like,
I never
insane.
actually
Oh,
produced enough for one, and so I was doing donor's milk for the longest time.
Yep.
But I was also, when I needed to switch to formula, because the donor's milk was, breast milk is liquid gold. Like, it is so expensive. It's so expensive. So I got the wonderful baby Brezza, and I was so determined to get them on a vegan formula because all of it was cow milk based, because they need that like protein from the milk and all of that stuff. So I was trying all different types of like soy formula, and then I found one, and it ended up being just like a basic generic brand that didn't have all the fun labels on it and stuff. I was actually scared to try it, and then it ended up working for them.
Oh,
so
good.
'Cause that's hard. Like trying to like figure out what works for a baby who can't talk is very difficult.
Yes.
And
they would just throw it up, and
Yep.
I felt so bad.
Yep.
So many people were telling me, all my family was telling me, just give them this other milk. And I was like, I felt like a bad
Good for
mom.
you.
I was
No.
like,
But you stuck
I
with
need
it.
to feed them, but I have all these morals in mind and all
Good
of this
for you.
stuff.
Stay
so.
strong to that.
Yeah, I really did, and it was very stressful, but I ended up finding out what worked for them. So
I love that.
Yeah.
So you did that, and then you started your business, or then did you start competing? When did you start competing?
So I started competing when the boys were about, I started my journey when they were like 1.5, almost 2.
Okay.
So yeah, and doing that, honestly, they are my cardio. So
I get it.
they are crazy.
I get it. I get it.
But I did sign up for a lifetime membership. They are amazing.
They have kids care there too.
They have kids care there, and it
Right.
actually was like, I think that they were awarded, don't get me wrong, I'm pretty sure, I can't remember what year, they got rated like #1 daycare in Colorado or something like
crazy.
that. Or
No
it's just-
way.
they got some kind of an award. They are absolutely amazing. And so I started going there when they were 3 months old. And so when I decided to compete, it was pretty easy for me because I didn't have to take them to school or anything. And I was just meal prepping. That was the thing that took most time. But I think they know now as they're getting older that, oh, mommy, when she's working out, it's because she's going to do this or she's trying to get stronger. And so even my posing, they're so funny now. They tell me, Mommy, look at me. And then they'll try to do the spin. You know?
Watch this.
so
Mommy, watch this.
Yeah.
That is so cute.
I love that.
So you started competing when they were 1.5. What does it take to get your pro card? Like, what all did you have to do to get there?
Yeah, so I did actually 2 competitions before I won my pro card. You have to get first place. Sometimes they do give it to you in second place. It really just depends. If it's kind of almost like a tie, they will choose who is first place, maybe based on other things. Like maybe the posing was like a little bit better, or maybe the physique was just a little bit better, but the other person had really strong posing. There can be so many things that like go into that on the judging side of it. But yeah, I just worked really hard. When I did my first show, I placed in top 5, and I was like, this is not good enough for me. Like everybody was
motivated you.
congratulating me,
though.
but I was like, okay, I need to do better. I can do better than this.
Yep.
And so I ran it back 8 weeks later and got first place.
Good
So,
for you.
That's
good for you.
crazy. And then what were you like, you know what, as if I'm not doing enough, I want to become a posing coach now. Like, how did that come about?
Oh my gosh. So my wonderful friend Taisha, all shout out to her because she has taught me everything that I know. She took me under her wing like when I first started posing for my first show, and looking back at those photos, I was so bad. Like it was not come natural to me. Some girls it comes very natural, but I was like walking like a horse. My feet were just like, I'm like, what was I doing?
Well, and
Oh
your
my
heels
gosh.
too. Like you compete in heels, right?
Yeah. And it's kind of like a dance, so you have to be really fluid with it. So dancers usually are really, really good at it because they can move their body in like fluid ways and they know all the shapes and all of that stuff. So I had to really learn, and I practiced literally until my feet bled.
Oh,
and
my
this
gosh.
last prep, I actually tore my MCL posing
Oh.
and I still stepped on stage. I tore my MCL, I think it was like 3 weeks before I stepped on stage, but it was a very minor tear. So I just was trying to take care of it. It's very strenuous on your body, so the doctor was trying to just tell me to rest as much as I could, but I was like, I do not have time for this. I have to keep going.
Right.
Nothing is going to stop me. But Tiger Balm works wonders.
What is the MCO?
An MCL is going to be where your quad and like your shin, your knee kind of like all meet. So there's some on each side of your knee, and I did the inner one.
Ow.
It like popped and it just hurt so bad.
Did you go to school for this? Like, how do you know?
I did not go to school.
You just
I
study
did
your ass
do
off?
like personal training, like certification
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
But honestly, most of my knowledge came from just personal experience
doing
and
it.
like learning the human body.
Which you have
So,
to do.
Yeah.
That's like instead of just reading in textbooks, that's what you have to do.
Yeah,
And,
honestly,
like,
most of my knowledge with anything came from personal
Yeah.
experience.
Just like us, we didn't
So-
go to school for mortgages.
No, we did not.
You know what I mean?
No, we
Like
did not.
anybody in any
Fed to
industry.
the fucking tigers on that one. That was for sure.
Yeah.
So then when did your what is the name of your business, and when did you launch that with the help of the Ohm twins?
Yes. So it's through a business called Jacked Vegans.
Okay.
And I launched that when it was 2023, I think. I can't remember the exact date that it started and all of that stuff, but I just took a few clients to begin with, just because I had never done online coaching before. I had helped people train, and I've always been really good about giving nutrition advice and all of that stuff. But doing it online, I was a little scared to take a lot of clients all at once, and I'm sure you probably know from like your guys' business, it's kind of scary going into it at first, and then you're like, oh my gosh, I have my first client.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
So that's kind of how it felt. But my first client ever, she was with me for 6 months, and so I really learned through her how to like navigate certain things. She was over 50 years old. She had already gone through menopause and all of those hormonal things that happen, and she had a lot of weight to lose, and she lost like over 70 pounds.
Oh my gosh.
So that to me was so rewarding.
Yeah.
Yes, because competing and all of that stuff can be very self-centered, and you know there's a lot of like beauty things where you're like looking at yourself and you're focused on yourself and all of these things. It can be very conceited sometimes. So in order to like go a different route and take the knowledge that I'm putting into myself into other people and help other women feel good about themselves, that just fills up my cup.
Yep.
It is amazing.
that.
It's the best feeling in the world.
That's awesome. I love it. So good. So how many clients would you say that you have now? Just starting about
I have,
year and a half ago?
thinking off the top of my head, I have probably about 25 or 30.
Wow.
So
Okay.
yeah, a lot more than
So you
when
have
I first
that,
started.
you have your posing clients, you're a mom. How do you balance that all? Because you seem to be a great mom, deeply invested, right? You have to worry about your own health and you work out on your own. Then you have these clients for Jacked Vegans and you have posing.
Yes.
Do you sleep? Are you okay?
I do get a full 8 hours of sleep, but I really have to like plan out my week. Sometimes it doesn't always go as planned, but I have a little book and it's called Little Miss Organized, and I just write out my whole week. I actually have 2 calendars that I write everything. I have like a physical copy, and then I have like my Google one on my phone, and I really try to keep those in sync. But sometimes people, you know, like even you guys sent me a link to like put onto my calendar, and that helps because I can have it just directly there. It will give me notifications even.
Yep.
So honestly, time blocking. Time blocking is one of the biggest things, and I actually have a calendar that I give all of my clients that it's like a printable version of like a time blocking thing. I try to do it in like 30 to 45 minute increments because our schedules just honestly do not work in hour increments. Some time blocking things can be an hour, but sometimes it takes in Denver to get 30 minutes somewhere or whatever. So you have to like give yourself that time and set it realistically. Like you can't just jump into things. You have to learn how to swim first and then go into the deep end kind of thing. So I have really mastered the mundane when it comes to my schedule and everything. I am not perfect. I am not saying that, but you know, some days things just take a little bit longer. Maybe a client needs something for a little bit longer extra time. So I try to give myself a little bit of leeway so I can still do things. Lifetime is also great because they have the workspace there. And since I work from my computer, I can be at the gym and then be like, okay, I can do 30 minutes of cardio in between clients or yada, yada.
Lifetime's got it figured out.
They really do.
They do.
They really
and they
do.
also have the cafe there. So if I forget my meal prep, I usually always have my meal prep on me. But if I forget, I can do something there that's very macro friendly. So
time blocking. Time blocking is huge for you to be a mom and to be
and then meal
a
prepping also helps because and sometimes if you don't have time to meal prep, you can get it from companies. There's a company here that I use.
Which one is it?
It's called My Vision Nutrition. Okay. They always have a vegan option. They have other non-vegan options as well. But when I'm really needing that extra help, you have to really lean on your help sometimes.
Yeah,
even if that's ordering it online, there's meal prep companies online that you can do just to make sure if you are busy and you have no time to do. Sometimes I am going to be that weirdo with meal prep in my purse. Yeah. Like, I always have my meal prep.
See the weird shit she has in her purse sometimes. I'm like, what the hell?
Well, with kids, too, you know? Like, it's just, like, it's a lot. Like, it's a lot. Life is a lot.
Meal prep weekly?
Weekly. And I usually tend to I do freeze my own, I'll make my own seitan, which is like protein made from wheat. It's definitely not gluten-free, but I do like big bulks of that. I try to make big batches of things, and so I'll do like 5 servings of something, and so I have it for 5 days. Or I'll do like sheet pans of stuff, so big sheet pans of sweet potato, big sheet pans of tofu or whatever. Sometimes my meals are so basic, but it just is the calories. I'll eat it cold.
Is it good? Like, do you enjoy the food that you eat?
Yes,
I mean,
absolutely.
I'm sure you do, but do you ever get kind of like sick of it? Or
no, honestly, I love my routine. If I am not eating my meal prep and like my stuff that I normally make, I feel weird. Like I don't really, after so long, when I do tend to like eat out a lot or whatever, I just like don't really, I don't know, it makes me feel weird. I just feel off whack. Yeah.
I get it.
I feel like because I am going to.
You are. I'm going to.
Yes,
make
I am going to change this year. It's needed, but I feel like I'm gonna go through kind of like withdrawals of eating shit.
But you can still order macro-friendly things that you like. So I'll still, like, I always tell all of my clients to lean into their cravings. So there's macro-friendly pizza.
What about ramen?
I can make a macro-friendly ramen. I was eating that during my prep, actually, this last prep, because sometimes it was really cold. We had that big snow, you know? Yeah. So I was doing, like, pho and ramen, all of that stuff.
Yep. You just got to find, like, the miso-based ramen, right? Because like most of it's bone broth, right?
But miso, veggie, and then the noodles make a big difference too. A lot of vegetables. So maybe if you're gonna have just regular whole grain noodles or whatever rice noodles, you can do less noodles and more vegetables.
More veggies in there.
Yeah, or more protein.
We're getting free coaching today. Work out. out.
But it is though, because I feel like you're a person who craves something, and she's like, I gotta get it. Like I gotta
Sometimes
have
you just
it.
have to get the edge off.
Right.
I feel
That's
that.
your hard part.
I also, we do in Jack Vegans have like dessert cookbooks too, because sometimes sweets are people's weaknesses and stuff. So we'll do like protein cinnamon rolls, protein cookies, like all of that stuff. So you can still get your macros in without all the guilt.
Yeah.
It's really important to do that. And that's what makes it more sustainable as a lifestyle, because it's more about making healthier swaps than really taking a bunch of stuff out of your diet, because that's not sustainable at all.
And it's just, like you said, it's time blocking. It's going and buying the ingredients, meal prepping, and making it happen.
Absolutely.
And eating healthy doesn't just mean salads.
No.
I hate salad. It's like
I
eating my
hated
front
salad for the
yard.
longest time, and then I discovered I like certain types of salads. So
Like spinach, I could do
love
spinach
salad. I love
more,
salad.
but
I love
I
sweet
put
greens. Sweet green's my
everything on
go-to.
it.
I love
Okay.
sweet green. That's like my guilty pleasure,
Yep.
actually.
Sweet greens.
Sweet green is so good.
But it's good to know, like, if I'm craving a noodle, I could do it.
Yeah,
I don't have to
absolutely.
hit up. Shout out to Nico Ramen all the time. Their corn butter ramen. Ordered it like 8 times, like this year already. But no, that's good to know that you could do that.
Yeah,
It really is.
absolutely. It's all about tracking it too. So, you know, if you do tend to have, like, let's say for lunch, you're going to have maybe more of a higher carb, like you want ramen or something, you can kind of figure out how many grams of carbs you're having. But then maybe for breakfast, have something that's just vegetables. So you can have like a 0 carb breakfast and then have the carbs for your lunch.
Okay,
It's
so
just
follow
about-
the
it's like food
macro and
Tetris. Yeah.
following the macro plan. Okay.
Yeah.
So are you taking on any more clients? You have
Yes,
a lot.
always.
Okay,
Yes.
and so
Uh-huh.
how can people find you?
Through Instagram, that's really where I do most of my business. Word of mouth. Yeah.
And Instagram is Ambi Richards.
Ambi Richards
A-M-B-I-E.
or Jacked Vegans.
Or
You can
Jacked
also go to
Vegans.
that.
And so
Yeah.
if they go there, they could find you, look up their name, and book you that way.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you can always do a free consultation. I do have a really fun little mini band challenge that I'm coming out with this week. So
Mini
it's gonna-
band, like what does that mean?
It's like a
the
resistance
bands?
band. Yes. It's a booty band
Yes.
challenge for all the babes out there that want to just
Oh.
kind of get on track.
Do the peeing dog one, the back one, yeah? I've done
All
that.
of the things. It's a 5-day challenge. In no way, shape, or form am I telling people that they can build their butt in 5
Days
or anything like that, or even 5 weeks.
Right.
It takes some time, but through that whole challenge, you do get to know some exercises that you can just do at home, or if like you're a busy mom, working professional, all of those things. But then you do also get some mindset stuff in there. You get some nutrition coaching in there. So it's kind of
Love
all
it.
the things.
When
And
does
they
that
could
start?
find they could find you on
yes,
Instagram.
so
to
it's
do
dropping
that,
this
too.
week,
Okay.
and it's $6.99, just $6.99. So,
Oh, I'll sign up.
yeah.
I bought booty bands and I've never put them on once. And I bought them like 3 years ago, dude.
Same.
Yeah.
Same. I think Saleya
Joe,
ate one of them.
Jaden-
Like one of them broke,
Yeah.
and I'm just like,
Jaden just like
glad I
uses
bought
it as a
that.
toy every once in a while, like just hits things.
They're
I'm
literally
like,
laying
Yeah.
on my floor with my ab roller that
Yep.
I don't use and my dumbbell that I don't
hard.
use.
There you go.
2025.
You already have the things.
We'll
to
sign
do.
up. We'll sign up today and we'll do
yes.
it.
Okay.
We can do 5 days.
We could do. Oh yeah.
5 days, absolutely,
5 days of anything.
100%.
We got this. We got this.
So what's next for you? Like what's your next goals? What do you got brewing?
Oh my
What are
gosh, I have so many things that I want to do. It's kind of overwhelming. I need to do a vision board this week. Actually, I was thinking of doing that. I definitely want to step on stage again this year, though. So that's one of my biggest goals. So I actually won second place in wellness category. So I won my pro card in bikini, and now I've switched over to wellness, which you have to have a lot more muscle. I was weighing 23 pounds heavier at 9% body fat
Oh, wow.
when I stepped on stage this last
my
time.
gosh.
So for me to place in another category, that just was an absolute win for me. So I'm really
Yeah.
trying to pursue that, to take that category very seriously.
What's the difference between the two? Like so
It's
the first
more
one,
lower body based,
Okay.
so a lot more muscle on the lower body.
Okay.
You still have to have like an overall really good physique, like on top and bottom. but they do require more muscle on the lower half.
Gotcha.
So
On the
yay for
wellness.
booty
So
gains.
wellness is more on the lower.
Yeah.
And then
bigger
bikini's
butt,
just
bigger
like-
legs.
Like
So
a
Bikini, you're
bigger
just
butt.
a snitch.
yeah.
I could do the wellness.
You really could. You really could. But
love
bikini,
Not
they
if I'm
want
eating
you. They don't
ramen.
want to see a lot of like striations. So I got third in that category in my pro debut, which was still a win to place in my pro debut. I was so over the moon happy for that. But I just was too much muscle for that category, and I was very shredded as well. In my federation, they don't want to see a lot of striations for bikini. They want a softer look, just kind of like a balance. They don't want to see too big of legs, too big of booty, or too big of like shoulders or anything like
Right.
that. It's a very much softer look.
Yeah.
So
Interesting.
So now you're
Yeah.
going to get on, you're going to do wellness this year.
I am. I'm so excited
I'm
for
excited
you.
to
for
see
you.
that.
Your girl gets to eat.
Yeah.
I'm so
Yes.
excited.
Yes. Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So okay, you guys, thank you so much for coming on today.
Oh, are we out of time? No.
Yeah, I know. We went over. I know, but she made it through the snow. We
I
are
did.
here.
Thank you guys
fun.
so much
Yeah.
for having
Yes,
me.
absolutely. But I want everybody to be able to find her. So if you want to find Amber, you go to Ambie, AMBIE Richards. Instagram or Jacked Vegans. She's taking on new clients. She's a baddie. You do it all. I'm so happy you made it today.
Thank you so much.
Yes,
Thank you.
absolutely. Thank you, girl. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for listening. This is From the Ground Up. Make sure you hit like and subscribe and check back next Monday for the next episode.